Hello, Commanders! Welcome to the command table. I am Mathermar, and we are up against SR15 Volcanus. He is still a miserable Bizatch, but my goodness, this is challenging and finally fun. It's been kind of a interesting road these past couple of weeks with super easy bosses and then the occasional ridiculously hard boss. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with this, a little bit of frustration, but we'll show you how we did. First, however, if you would please like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any comments or if you have a build that you think I should try, please feel free to leave that in the comments below and we will take a look. So we'll show you the first couple of things that I tried out. I just occasionally don't mind throwing a few elixirs and keys at some potential experiments here. This first one was a Titan build experiment that I did, just trying to use different elixirs. I just don't want to burn through all my immunity elixirs if I can avoid it. So I figured I'd give this a shot. So I have some Eternal Champions that have Berserk and Unshackle. The drummer has ability 2, not corrupted ability 2, just regular ability 2, on both green slots, or ability slots, and Unshackle. And then the Monster Hunter has protection 3, corrupted protection 3, and Unshackle as well. So with all the Unshackles, we avoid the Earthquake, and then the 2 bombs were supposed to take out all the Thorn Guards, but as you will see, they missed 2. And that's kind of where things went south. We also have the archers clearing out the top couple of ECs. So with a couple tweaks in the placement, this might be a little more viable, but it didn't work so hot. So I figured it was worth a shot. We'd check it out, see how we do, and it didn't do very well. So then I tried an assassin experiment, and this worked fantastic back in the day when you had the freeze power stone, where you equip one assassin with double freeze power stones and the rest with a bunch of damage, and they just nuke the boss so fast. And I thought, hey, he's got reduced damage mitigation from before, where it used to be 100% damage mitigation if you didn't have them frozen. So I figured, hey, let's see how much they can crank. So I stacked a bunch of Plague Bearers on the Primal Warhorn and thought I'd check it out to see how that goes. And it didn't go very hot. I can improve the placement on the assassins because some of them are wandering off and killing a bunch of other stuff that I wasn't terribly concerned about. But I managed to get 1% of his health before it all goes to crap. So didn't work so hot, but the next time Freeze Power Stone is up, remember that one. So then we went to kind of what the clan was working on, the Boo clan. This is the setup. We have a bunch of Primal Warhorns. We have a bunch of Warhounds, and we have Wraiths, and then 2 Frost Wizards. So we've solidified the strategy since then, and Stigma is primarily responsible for this strat. I'll provide a link to his video in the description below, and I highly recommend you go look at it. He's got, I think, some better unit levels than I have, and he's got it squared away, I think, a little tighter than I do, but I make progress as I go. So this is the build. He has his Warhounds up front. I put mine in the back, and I figured that with the corrupted strike on my Wraiths that I'd knock stuff out on that front line and allow the Warhounds to zip further past. So that was my thought with this. Now I get some really poor timing on my Frost Wizards. They're all shooting at the exact same time, so there's no stagger, and Volcanus is not freeze locked. So that was incredibly unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and skip through the rest of that. But yeah, that was among my first attempts. The Frost Wizards just did not have their act together. We're going to have to dock their pay. So this one I figured, hey, we've done the thing where we just have the one Frost Wizard. Obviously I've got Clone on both of my Frost Wizard units, but the one Frost Wizard that I have here has Clone, and I thought I could, if I could get to the boss and freeze him with the one Frost Wizard, then I'd be just fine. but I just do not have enough push to clear everything. And so if you've got higher level units and you've got them with all the right power stones, you may be able to clear it fast enough to only use the one Frost Wizard. For SR15, I am not high enough for that. We'll save the SR10 for last. So now this is where we had some discovery. Stigma and a few of the others in the clan, they discovered that the block power stone was incredibly useful. Apparently it soaks the earthquake. So we get, I don't have any blocks on at all for this build. So this is kind of the build that I resolved on, with a few minor tweaks on the power stones for the Frost Wizards later on. But I didn't have any block on any of this. And you'll notice that they're all getting very low on health and everything's about to die to the earthquake. Poof. There it goes. So still managed to finish off the heart. But the main issue is that nothing can last long enough because it is going to die if you don't have that block. So here we had two blocks that we added to the Warhounds. Now watch this one. Okay, so I added block to the top and bottom Warhounds on the front line. And, or was it the front line or was it the center? Anyway, I only had two Warhounds with block on them, and see how it changes things. Because still able to clear to the boss just fine, not a problem there. We got decent stagger with the Frost Wizards. But you'll notice that there's 2 packs of Warhounds that have increased longevity compared to everything else. You see, everything else is super low on health, and then there's some that are about half or more. So everything else starts to get cleared out, but they're still in the game. So, I should have paid more attention to what was written on Discord for the Boo chat. But, oh, see there. Those are the 2 groups that had block, and they stayed a lot longer. Then what I did is I put 4 block in, and we tried that out. But I should have paid more attention in the chat, because they weren't just talking about putting them on your melee units, it was also the Frost Wizards. So on this build, my Frost Wizards don't have the block either. But after this, I do add it. So on this one, you'll notice that there's going to be a lot more Warhounds sticking in the fight here, even as the rest of the things get cleared out, including the Frost Wizards. But I'm going to make a note of the damage, the difference in damage that occurs from how many power stones are added, the block power stones. So, okay, so we got the heart, and then we'll just go ahead and skip through. So for just having the 2 block on, I had 4.35 million damage. For adding 4 block, I got to 5.3 million damage. Then we put block on the Frost Wizards. And note to everyone out there, pay attention to your chats for your clans to see what people are actually saying, because that would have saved me a lot of trouble. So my best was 5.3 million. And then, this is where I took the clone off of the front Frost Wizard and left it on the back one, but I actually had to overwrite them and put them back on. So the rear Frost Wizards, I have clone and block. The front Frost Wizard, I have corrupted reach 2 and block. So that helps to stagger things a little bit. And look at that. 1, 2, 3. Nice stagger on that. And last attempt before this, we got to 5.3. Let's see how we do with a lot more block stones, especially having the block on the Frost Wizards. Look at that. They've still got about a third of their health, and they're just keeping them locked the whole time. And I've got the Hounds that have the block on them. They're sticking in there. So we've already surpassed our last one. We're getting up to 6.1. So 6.1 million there. Then we upped it even further. 6.75 million, because I put block on everything except for the Wraiths. I figured it was better to have the double damage stones to clear than to sacrifice one of those for block. They have the built-in force resistance and stun resistance anyway, so I didn't think it was super crucial. But yeah, I Figure block on everything else is what really made the big difference. So, and I did have corrupted damage 3 on just about everything, and on all the Warhounds, and corrupted strike and corrupted damage 3 on most of the Wraiths. But in this last attempt, I switched out Berserk because everything was lasting long enough and it was low on health. So they're going to crank a lot more damage when they're below 50. So I've got kind of a mix on the damage for the Warhounds. There's about, I think, 4 of them. Or at least I have about 4 Berserk stones on the Hounds, and the rest of them have corrupted damage 3 just to make sure that I clear in time. So that's something that you can tweak. If you're able to clear faster than you need to, then switch out some Berserks in there, and you'll be able to get more damage on the boss. If you're not able to clear in time, then switch out your Berserks for the corrupted damage 3. So that is everything that we have for today. Please do like and subscribe. We may have more for you later. I think that's a pretty solid setup for this boss. Pretty expensive, but we'll get her done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.